Hello everybody, hope you're having a great day everyone, wherever you are. And let's just dive into the news today. So first we have Fundstrat said that 2019 expects to bring incremental improvements to the crypto industry, supporting higher crypto prices. So Fundstrat is led by a very outspoken Bitcoin proponent, Tom Lee, right, who was from JP Morgan. So he was a chief equity analyst there in JP Morgan before starting out his own firm called Fundstrat. And now they looked at, their research mainly focused on cryptocurrencies. They just released a report saying that 2019 will see visible price recovery in cryptocurrency. And why is that? They have actually highlighted about 9 factors. Number one on the chart is actually USD trend, because they expect the USD dollar to weaken, and because cryptocurrencies are all denoted or being quoted in US dollars. That's why in comparison, by just default, right? If US dollar weaken and if that's the denomination, so the crypto prices will increase. Second is that emerging market equities will outperform equities. So that's where it thinks that if US equities is actually down, some of the fund flows, people will basically, because stock market is down in US, the funds will actually flow out of the stock market and into an alternative class like cryptocurrencies. The third is a more technical point. Bitcoin is expected to cross its 200-day average by year end. So basically, they see that because it has been down for so long already, it is time for it to move up. Fourth is institutional investments. They expect to see more institutions to come on board, and being endowment funds, right? That is not surprising, because after we have seen already a lot of institutions or banks already starting to offer custody solutions. I mean, for one, the Fidelity one that they're expected to launch in Q1 this year, right? They're already in final stage of their testing. So once custody solutions is in place, institutions will be more comfortable to then come in to invest in this new asset class that has shown to have delivered very asymmetric risk return. That means you just invest a little bit, that means a small portion percentage of your fund, but the outsized returns can be 10 times or 100 times based on history, right? And that was not even when the big money, means institution money, are in yet. So that's why a lot of people, including a lot of big names, are very bullish about the next rally will be led by big money, meaning the institutions, and that will be much bigger than the previous rally being led by just retail investors alone. Now, the fifth point is the fiat crypto on-ramps. That means more options for newbies who only have fiat money to come on board the crypto revolution to buy crypto using fiat. Just for example, Binance is adding credit cards, right? Payments, and also Binance, they have recently introduced a fiat crypto exchange in Jersey, and they're going to open many, many more around the world. Singapore is in plan. Africa is also in talks, right? So they're also just in the process of getting regulatory approval. I think that's the major thing. I think in terms of funding, it's not an issue, but it's more like the regulatory approval that takes time. Next is also create crypto to fiat exchange selling. That means if you want to you want to withdraw crypto out also, it is a lot more options now. Yeah. Next is crypto fund formation. So this is a negative point, because they're seeing that funds will have difficulty raising capital. Because we have already seen more than 1 year of crypto winter, it is no surprise that it is harder now than 1 year ago to actually raise new funds from investors. But we have so many hedge funds already focusing on cryptocurrencies are already here, right? It's just a matter of time when they're going to see more inflow of capital. Next is Bitcoin, the blockchain itself. A lot of development are taking place. Bitcoin itself, Lightning scales up, right? Lightning is actually seeing news every other day, right? Especially with the most recent Lightning torch is passing on, right? That just creates so much more awareness and marketing and publicity for Lightning Network, which means to be a scaling solution for Bitcoin. And not only that, right, you have already seen like Green, Beam, and now Litecoin. They want to enhance it further with a more privacy element to not only, to the world's censorship resistant cryptocurrency. Next is security keep increasing, right? The institutional grade custody is coming on board, right? BitGo, for example, has already launched a custody, but now you already have Fidelity very close to offering their custody solutions for crypto soon, and when BACT is coming online later this year as well, they are going to have a custody solutions, and BACT being owned by ICE, which is the owner of New York Stock Exchange, the second largest exchange in the world. So definitely all these institutions will have a lot of credibility and will be able to generate a lot more trust for new big money to come in again. So SEC regulatory risk. So this is neutral because industry itself is doing more self-regulation. Though SEC itself, I foresee that this year will be where they will definitely have more clarity on regulations. After all, they already are they're already sourcing for data providers, right, to give them data. That means that they are working on coming up regulations. It's just that I think they're fine-tuning, and also they're already advisory group being formed by the industry, including Goldman Sachs, to advise the regulator on the regulations. So all this definitely, I believe, is shaping up to government in the US coming up with very clear regulations this year. Trend in ICOs. So this is a positive trend is because FundStrat sees that a lot of ICOs are basically very slow in the pipeline, and that is good because it's not so distracting for new investors, because if more and more new ICOs coming on board, then they might be distracting for someone who is new. They can't really understand what is what's the difference, and there are more choices to choose from. The more there is, more complex, more confusion, right? Simplicity is the best, right? Just focus on the top cryptocurrencies, especially for newbies. The last one is on equity, because it's expected the few of the big crypto-related companies like Bitmain, which is mining companies, is going to list. That means they're going to, how do I say, publicly float their company. That means they're going to get more funding, and that will just mean more infrastructure, more development, more innovation in this space. So FundStrat Tom Lee, he was famous last year because he was always the one who come on CNBC and even on his own, issue a lot of price predictions for Bitcoin. Unfortunately, all of it didn't happen. It didn't realize because there were just too many other distractions, and bad news really just dominate the good news in this market. And he then finally said he refused, or he will stop giving price prediction anymore, though he's still bullish on Bitcoin. And now this report I think is good because it's also just to show, or just to highlight the fact that he sees that price will see a visible recovery, and by this year, supported by these 9 factors. So, at least he has now more backing, more reasons behind this, right? Yeah, and with no clear price predictions, I think is generally a better way to go. Next, Michael Novogratz baffled by Bitcoin not being 1% of portfolio in $3 trillion hedge fund sector. So Michael Novogratz is a former Goldman Sachs partner. He now has a crypto company called Galaxy Digital, which is a huge crypto fund. In fact, it's the biggest crypto-related fund out there today. And he has tweeted publicly, and specifically to Ray Dalio, who is a very famous hedge fund manager. He's basically, I see this as a plea of saying, why not, right? Why aren't the traditional hedge funds into crypto? Not even 1%. He's just like really baffled, and it's just seemed to him is illogical, because it just seemed illogical even if you're prone to be a skeptic. So I see this as like, he's really frustrated. Why are the big money not coming in yet? And many people reply, and among one of the notable ones is Alex Kruger, who say that many macro funds see Bitcoin as a scam. So the thing is, they're saying that if you have a position that yes, you think you might make you a lot of money, but you think it's going to scam, will you even participate? So this also implies that industry still have a lot of room to educate the institutions and the big money on how and why crypto is not a scam before they come in. But I think you just need actually one big institution to come in, and then the rest will really follow, just like domino. You really need, because honestly, pension funds or even endowments, or even institutions, banks and all that, they, how do I say, they benchmark against one another, right? So it's not like they benchmark against all the players that are out there in the world. They really benchmark against just their industry. So if, let's say, in university endowment funds, let's say, and if zero university endowment funds invest in cryptocurrencies and they all, are making very comparable returns, then there's no incentive for anyone, no real incentive for any one endowment to actually take the bet and then invest. Because if they lose money, then they will appear really bad, because their peers, or rather their incentive schemes, is actually their benchmark is actually the rest of the university endowment funds. So if they, just fall short because they took a wrong bet, then they will really be penalized. But of course, if they make it big, then they will look very good, and then the other university endowment funds will follow. So as I said, you just need one very courageous decision maker in one of the big institution, and if they, and it happens that trigger or that coincide with the next rally, then great, then the other institutions will all follow. We just need that one, how do I say, inflection point or tipping point, and then we'll see. But right, so my take is personally that for retail investors, you don't really know when will that take place. A lot of people think it's this year, right? So in any case, now prices are low. My opinion is definitely I continue to invest even a small portion in cryptocurrencies now, right? So it's also best to just go in now because prices are really low, right? And locking a position, then you are at least hedged, yeah? Just think of it this way, just $100. $100 is like, think of it like a trip to casino, right? That you can just lose it. Or a nice drinks with your buddy, that's $100, right? That's my take. But of course, not financial advice again. But when see, this is the first time Michael Novogratz actually make a plea. So I think it is really interesting. So I think something is happening. It just the sense, right? Next, you have Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao also said beginning of the beginning still. That means we are still in the beginning. So again in Twitter, first it start off by Eric Voorhees, that's compliment Changpeng Zhao, or the founder and CEO of Binance, saying that they have achieved a lot being just 1.5-year-old baby. And it's been awesome seeing your accent. And CZ Binance being very humble guy as he is, despite so rich and talented, he said basically Eric was the one who inspired him to actually start off his crypto career. And another Twitter user called 123 at Origin Tokyo said, lucky, wish I had the chance to be converted so early in the game. To which CZ replied, that's exactly what I thought back in 2013. Damn, I'm too late. I wish I started early like those other guys. And I will still say the same thing I heard back then today. We are still early, the beginning of the beginning. And that's exactly right, the message that, you see, when you put all this together with Michael Novogratz sending out a plea out there to hedge funds, putting their money into crypto, Changpeng Zhao saying it's still early of the early, and you have Fundstrat saying 9 factors that will push the rally this year. So it is all signs lining up, right? That something is going to happen soon, right? Yeah, so I think really just see what they are doing, yeah, because these people are continue to build. Michael Novogratz funds continue to have new coins, right? Accepted new coins, taking in new investments from investors, right? So that ought to tell you. Also, very interestingly, Changpeng Zhao is also holding the Lightning torch now. So he's just saying who should he send it to next, right? Next, on adoption news, Venezuela starts regulating crypto remittances. So this is not a good news, but still I need to say it. The Venezuela government has begun regulating cryptocurrency remittances. They set a monthly limit of just 10 petrols, which is about $600 per month. That's the cap, which means you can only send $600 per month in remittances in cryptocurrency. And they want to collect commissions of up to 15% as well. And that's worked about 28 cents per transactions, based on the average size of transaction today that they have seen, right? These are all the details that is currently available, but they will continue to have more regulations later. Now, this is really bad, I think. Why they do this personally, I think they just want to, because Bitcoin is gaining dominance and popularity so fast that the government is really scared. And they have to come up with regulations like this. But I think the more that they regulate, the more that black market will happen, will occur, and then people will just use other ways, other means that to avoid this kind of. I think the cap is the more restrictive one than the commission. Commission is still relatively low, but of course, in other countries, there's no such commission. Yeah. The fees for sending cryptocurrency is almost zero, but now they're having a 15%. So this is bad for Venezuela. But I mean, I just think that people in Venezuela, I think where they have a choice that they're probably leaving the countries now. And I think this is one of those things again. If you're really, really so not friendly, even to crypto, your people, your talents will just flow out of the country. And then what are you left with, right? Next, Texans can now pay electricity bills using crypto via Grid Plus Energy with Centerpoint and Encore. So just this week, they utility company called Grid Plus Energy that they have now allowed customers to pay for their monthly power bills using Ether or DAI. Of course, they are a subsidiary of Consensus. Hence, the crypto that they accept is also just related to Ethereum. Now, this is only available to users in a few states, including Dallas, Midland, Odessa, Fort Worth, right? Houston, Texas, right? But I think it's just a matter of time. It is one of those things, although small, but in aggregate, you're seeing more and more merchants accepting cryptocurrencies. And increasingly, day by day, you're just seeing cryptocurrency quietly making its way, right, into a legit money. Yeah. Next, local Bitcoins introduce new user verification rules. So again, local Bitcoins is one of those peer-to-peer crypto exchange, which I have always recommended it because of its privacy nature. People can just go on that website, check out who are the people who want to buy, want to sell, check their rating, right? How's the reputation? And then you can agree to meet somewhere and secured by escrow, right? Everything can be done in a very anonymous and secure manner. But now, because it is based in Finland, then now they have to follow the EU anti-money laundering rules that they have until January 2020. That means almost 1 year to comply with the rules. That's why they are now have to introduce they require the users to actually upload their ID, which is their personal identity information. For now, I mean, in the meantime now, they already have a voluntary provision of your identity, but I don't think many people are providing that. So they have to now implement a compulsory identification requirements, and I think that is really bad for local Bitcoins. So I think there are other peer-to-peer exchange, right? So for people who are really, really privacy centric, they will seek out other crypto peer-to-peer exchange, and that may just lead to another crypto peer-to-peer exchange to be rising in popularity. Though I know local Bitcoins has been popular for a long time, but either that or they can choose also to move to another jurisdiction. Just like Binance is headquartered in Malta, right? Because much more friendly and not any of the usual financial hubs. Yeah, though a lot of the financial hubs like Switzerland, Singapore are now very, very crypto friendly as well. Because that's just how things work, right? I mean, it's really positively correlated. Both talent and money and investment will really flow to where the regulations are more friendly. Lastly, Binance Scams and Downtime. So in just about, just today, Binance itself in its tweet has actually posted an alert that, scammers are impersonating official Binance accounts and tweeting to ask for deposits of specific addresses in return for gifts. You will lose your tokens if you do this. Binance will never ask you to send coins directly to any address for any reason. So please, 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 Binance is now one of the fastest rising coins, right? And also the CEO is daily into it. So very, very popular exchange, right? Number one, also by trading volume, and continue to build day by day with a lot of diversification, making huge profits in 2018 despite crypto winter. But now a lot of people are then riding on their popularity, and a lot of scammers are doing that. So please be careful, right? Big companies like Binance and many others are backed also, right? All these famous company will never ask you through tweet to send funds directly to them, right? In return for gifts. That's just ridiculous, right? They don't need your funds to send you gifts. If they want to give gifts, they will just do a contest, right? And yeah, and also Backed also recently had a similar scam where, they send email to individual people asking for fundraising. That's just, again, ludicrous. So please, if anything seems weird, right, it is. Because big companies will never do personal things like this, asking for funds. Never, right? Last one is, again, just 5 hours ago from the time of recording this, Binance website experienced downtime for about 30 minutes or so, and some users are affected. Either they cannot log in, or, myself also, I saw a screen saying in a Chinese saying it's down, so I cannot even see the screen. After a while, for mine is okay, and then when I log in, everything is safe. For some people also, their app is not working, that means their mobile app, and basically there's a tweet saying everything should be back to normal and funds are basically very safe. So my funds are safe, but please check yours as well. So again, this is unfortunate because it was just yesterday. Bitfinex as well, again, a highly rated exchange based in Hong Kong, also experienced a 2-hour downtime. There, Bitfinex had a very frequent communications, whereas Binance this time has only one communication. Though whenever people tweet back to CZ, who is the founder and CEO of Binance, he replied back their tweet very fast. So some people are saying great job on the quick response. But I think exchanges, although you are growing fast, you must really, really always be very vigilant and very thorough in your maintenance work, in your testing. You have to really invest a lot in your back-end infrastructure, because all these service downtime, yes, I know, even ATMs, banking ATMs, which has been around for hundreds of years, also experience downtime. But the cryptocurrency is such a new space, right, that we need to build up credibility. And as earlier, a lot of institutions think Bitcoin is scam. Bitcoin being the oldest cryptocurrency and the most reliable and most well-known, they consider it scam. So we cannot have, or we should really minimize this kind of incidents from now on. Hopefully, Bitfinex and Binance will learn from their mistakes, right? And really, really, I think they should really, really invest. So Binance especially, they are growing very fast. I hope in the midst of growing very fast that they're also paying a lot of attention to make sure that their maintenance, are up to the standard as well. Because really, we need to give a lot more confidence to investors, especially newbies in this space. So with that, right, I hope all of you are having a great time, and be careful. A lot of scams out there still, especially using Binance name now. And just days ago, I think back no one was affected, so that's great. Hopefully, Binance no one will be affected as well. So every day, everyone stay safe and check your Binance account. I know many people have Binance account. Please, I hope all your funds are safe. And yes, wherever you are, thank you so much for your support. For new subscribers, I really, really appreciate you. And yes, leave a like, leave a subscribe, share this around, and thank you so much again. And hope you have a great day wherever you are. God bless. Thank you.